See. Going live, going live, going live, going live. And we are now live once again. Everybody, welcome back to the podcast right here on JJ's PC Builds. I know y'all been waiting, and I'm like 13 seconds late. Go ahead and shoot me in the corner. Everybody else does now, you know. But anyway, good to see everybody here. That if you done came in, then you don't came in. And Dakota's hiding in the background like usual. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. There we go. So, look at it. You're the cat. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the podcast. We're bringing it live right here once again. We got Dakota on the other end. Say hi, Dakota.
Howdy do.
Oh, man, you got to talk up like you got a pair.
I can scream if I need to.
All right. See, if y'all got something to say, you want to leave a message in the comment board, y'all got the access to it. So you'd be more than happy to let us know if you want us to talk about something. We can talk about something extra special if you want. But keep it clean. Keep it clean. We don't want to go there. But today's topic that I'm going to be bringing it up, I did get a question in my box and people were asking this question and I had to answer it. So This is the first question that was brought to me. I still have to put a little bit of my comments to it, and just let you know. I mean, Kube left a comment. I have the same graphics card and a better CPU. Good for you. Good for you. I believe. And my frames are nowhere near as high as that. I'm usually around 120 to 100 frames per second. That's like the most I get, question mark. With the same settings you tested. Okay. If you're using the same settings that I tested with, number one, you don't have the same motherboard. You don't have the same processor. You do have the same graphics card, but it's not going to respawn the same. So I'm just going to break that off clear. Number one, it's not going to respawn the same. You cannot get the same output that I'm going to get unless you use the same motherboard I use, the same processor I use, the same RAM, the same M.2 drive, and everything from A to Z. You'll get 98.9% close to the amount of FPS that I'm getting. If you know how, to set up your BIOS, and I've already said many times, and I've showed y'all many times how to set up your BIOS. Now, BIOS is not a hard part. It is pretty much an easy part, and I did make a recent video on that. Make sure y'all look on that if you don't know how to set up your BIOS. I undervolt my BIOS because I'm not going to kill my processor. And also, too, it keeps the heat down inside of my computer case. So that way you're not killing your other components like your VRMs, your system RAM, your M.2 drive, and so on. If you can keep the heat down in your case, then you're better off. Which the heat does keep down in my case. It's only a little bit about 10 degrees above ambient, which I keep it about 78 degrees in here. So
78?
Yeah, I keep it 78 degrees in here.
You're cooking in there, my guy.
I know, but when you got to share a whole air conditioner with a bunch of apartments, man, what are you gonna do, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
Especially when you got the downstairs down there, and they tell you, hey, Mr. Landlord, I'm freezing. Can you turn up the air conditioner because I'm just freezing, And then you got the ones that are beside me, like, oh my God, I can't stand the heat. It's getting you know, damn.
Yeah.
And then you got the other ones that are downstairs, and they're just sitting there complaining, "Oh my God, it's too cold," and this and that. I mean,
You said 78, right?
78.
78. So that is a little. I'm gonna say 7. 7 degrees cooler than my CPU's running right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I would die. I would roast. They would come in and they just find a cooked turkey sitting on the floor, and it would be me.
well, I can tell you, my processor sets between 80, 81, 88, and 91. Okay, degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty good. That is pretty sufficient. It's not, it's not blazing up over 190 degrees. That would be killing it. Anything over 185 degrees Fahrenheit on your processor, you're killing it. So you're killing those transistors. Basically, you're just going to take and use it for about maybe 6 months and throw it away. So that's pretty much it. So, but if you don't, and that's the reason why it comes to undervolting. Undervolting your processor actually lowers that heat amount, so you don't have it. It might kick it up to maybe 141. I would get mine up to about 141 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the highest it ever went, and that's usually when I'm doing videos. Transforming videos from 1080p to 1080p. Don't ask about that. Basically, I have to paste it all together. No, it's one video and I add to it, and then I upload it back onto my computer again. And that usually takes about maybe 9.5 seconds. Yeah. The other program I was using was taking 30 to 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yep. And I'm using this new program. It's only taking about 9 to 12 seconds. So you guys figure out the math in that. And I can tell you, using that new program with the system I got is rocking right now. I mean, it's rocking. So, all right, we went way off of the spectrum. Let's go ahead and get back on the spectrum. I do got some news for y'all. NVIDIA, we're going to talk about NVIDIA and AMD to develop the ARM CPU for client PCs. Okay, now, if y'all been watching your reports on some of those leaks, then you would been seeing something that's been going on about it. So it looks like NVIDIA is going to jump into the game with ARM CPUs, the ones that Apple uses for their telephones. But they're going to try to use that for desktop processors, if you didn't know that. But now here comes the kicker. Once AMD found out that NVIDIA was doing this, they had to jump on the bandwagon. Now AMD's jumping on the ARM bandwagon, and they're going to turn around and go to ARM CPUs. So that means the Ryzen's going to be an ARM CPU? Come on, man. Give us a break. At least Intel's the only one that's straight up and says they're not jumping on that bandwagon. They're still going to continue to make their processors their way.
I'm very interested. I'm currently reading an article on that in Computer World. Intel's PC stranglehold could face serious challenges from NVIDIA, AMD, and Qualcomm.
Yeah, it can, because the amount of processors your gaming community is going to want. And especially when you got multiple different processors you got to make just for a single generation. I mean,
my theory is this isn't going to have much effect on the gaming community. I have a feeling this is going to be i3s and Ryzen 3s. These are going to be cheap, efficient processors that OEM companies are going to buy up just a crap ton of them. And every company computer ever is going to have a ARM-based processor. And I don't think they're going to be super high-end, in my opinion. I just don't. I don't think they're going to be the new Ryzen 9s and the i9s, and I don't think they're going to compete. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. But from what I've heard of ARM in the past, I'm going to assume they're not going to be super high-end.
You know the reason why NVIDIA is jumping on this bandwagon?
If I had to take a guess, I'd say something to do with AI.
That and the new Mac 2s that Apple just put out.
Oh.
Yeah. With the ARM processors.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about the Apple Mac 2. Those are actually really high-end chips.
Yeah. Those are made with the ARM processors.
Maybe they will be high-end. Maybe they will be our new gaming chips. Let's go. More competition. I'm always for more competition.
Because you got to remember, the iMac is in competition. Apple's in competition with Microsoft. And who Microsoft bows to? NVIDIA.
Microsoft bows to NVIDIA?
Microsoft bows to NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA is $1 trillion company. Now, if NVIDIA can make a new type of processor using the ARM chip, then they're going to revolutionize the computer industry and make the computer industry run to try to get the computers to run to almost the quantum level. Did you hear about that?
I haven't.
Yeah. They're trying to crack the code to take desktop computers to the quantum level. That's the whole purpose in this. Is they're trying to take us into the 25th century, and we're just now reaching the beginnings of our 21st century. So, I know it doesn't sound like it makes much sense, but you have to understand that when they crack the code for the quantum technology, that's all they need to do is crack the code. Then AI is going to take off like wildfire. Once that's been cracked, yeah, everything's going to be controlled by AI. As simple as that. And that's what the government's afraid of, that the AI will have control of all the markets, everything. The stock market, the oil pricing, everything that's dealing with their cash. That's what they're afraid of. That's the reason why they don't want the quantum computers meeting up with AI, is because they're afraid that their cash flow is gone. So, but also too, with NVIDIA getting into the ARM chips, gives Microsoft a crucial time to build what Apple couldn't do. And that's what they're trying to do now, is crack the code on the ARM chips. See, it works hand in hand. And I can tell you, the way Microsoft's working right now, they've already poured in millions of dollars into coming up with the new OS for the ARM chip. Why do you think Windows 12 hasn't come out yet? Why do you think Microsoft is telling everybody that what's going to happen is that your computer is going to turn into like a telephone, and you're going to have to bid to their site and pay monthly to use their Their servers for their operating system.
See, I heard it's not for their operating system. I heard it was for certain features. So like maybe like I'm not gonna say Photoshop, but isn't Adobe owned by Microsoft?
Adobe. Good question. I haven't looked into that. At one time, I thought they were, but I thought it was. I don't know. I have to look into that.
No, they're not. But maybe the theories I've heard is there's gonna be features. Maybe it'll be a rival Adobe. There's gonna be features that are like industrial, not your average consumer use, but industrial features that they're gonna charge a monthly payment for. The operating system itself, again, this is based on rumors that I've heard. I can't even give you a source.
Right.
Was the operating system's going to be free, and then for the pro features, it's a monthly payment.
Yeah, like stuff that you want to get from the store, you're going to have to pay for it in order to get the features. But you're going to have to pay monthly on it.
And again, this is just there's no evidence of this. This is just a theory.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. It's not a theory. It's actually truth. Because look what they're doing with all the stuff they used to have. If you go back onto your Windows 7 OS, they had a lot more stuff for that OS than they do on Windows 10. Where did it all go? Well, Microsoft decided when they did Windows 10 to take and rob all the stuff that they had on Windows 7, repurpose it and put it back on Windows 10, but put it on with a fee, which that is true. Every little thing that they can charge for, they're trying to charge you for it to gain more money. It's a cash grab. Okay, they might allow you to use. Hey, Caesar, good to see you. Welcome to the podcast. Good to see you. Glad you made it. The thing is this, okay, Microsoft is the base OS for your computer. No, they're not going to mess with that. What they're going to mess with is your internet capabilities. In order for you to get internet, you got to take and pay per month for, certain things in order for you to enable your internet on your PC. That I heard.
Okay.
I heard rumors about that. Yeah, I heard rumors about that.
I don't see it going over well. If that is what they're going to do, I have a feeling Windows 10 and 11 will be the most user updated and maintained operating system to ever exist, and Linux is going to explode.
Yeah. But you heard what was it? AMD's doing on Linux, right?
I haven't, no.
They're older GPUs. They're starting to take them off to the market. They're going to put them end of life by 2025.
Okay.
Except for their 6000 series and up. The rest of them are supposed to go to end of life. So that means you ain't going to be able to get no more software updates for it.
Which is fair. I mean, you can't really expect them to update them forever.
Which is true. That is true. I expect nvidia to do the same thing.
Wow, wait, 6000 series. That's like really new. So like the 5700 XT that I have isn't even that old of a card, is it?
Well, it's a couple years.
Even a couple years, that's fresh.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, they're going to go from the. No, believe it or not, it's
Yeah, 2019 was when the 5700 XT came out.
well, it's 4 years.
Yeah, that's only 4 years. I don't see them. I don't see him cutting driver support that close. Like that's still a very capable card.
Yeah, but they've been doing it for 9 years. Okay, but if you got to look at the fact of if they need server room for the new stuff that's coming out, what are you going to do? You're going to cut the old stuff out, and you're going to
That's not old.
Anything that's in business wise, they're going to tell you anything that's over 3 years old is done. It's old.
Okay, according to this Tom's Hardware thing, AMD is retiring driver support for the R9 Fury and older graphics card, including pre-Ryzen APUs.
Mm-hmm.
So the R9 Fury came out. When did the R9 Fury come out? R9 Fury. Oops. Release date. AMD. Okay, 2015 is when that card came out. That makes a bit more sense to me.
Right. But
so 2015 and older, they're cutting support for, according to Tom's Hardware.
Right, but I'm telling you what the talk is that's going around. The rumors that are going around is that they want to take, and they want to. And I heard one rumor it was going to be the 6000 series. Another rumor is going to be the 5700 and up series that they're going to still make drivers for. And I heard they were cutting out updated drivers for the APUs for the AM4 series. I'm hearing a lot of rumors going out there. I'm not saying it's factual. I'm saying it's just basic rumors that is going out there right now. That one person saying this, one person saying this, one. You got many people saying everything that's going to be happening, but what they don't understand is that usually when people are saying this and this and this, one of them is going to be true. Because so far, with many of the leaks that have been going on for the past year, either 2 or 3 were, you get 2 or 3 different leaks. One of them actually comes correct. So that's why usually I say this person says this person says this person says this, and it's just a leak. So that way everybody understands, okay, well, one of the 3 is going to become true. Just like when I said that the 4080, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. But from what I'm reading here, when it comes to the ARM CPU, is that which is not becoming not becoming a leak. It's more or less becoming factual because NVIDIA wants to put their hand in the cookie jar. And so does AMD. And that right there, that's got Intel a little bit worried. Because now you got one major CPU, GPU company going after the ARM technology, and you got a GPU company that's going after the ARM technology to make CPUs. So what happens to Intel when they're just struggling with the CPUs and they're really struggling with their GPUs? What do you think is going to happen? Anybody want to answer that question? Let me know what you think's going to happen if AMD and NVIDIA both are into the GPU and CPUs, and especially the ARM CPUs, which could turn out to be a gold rush.
I hope it is.
Something tells me this is what's going to happen. It's going to turn into a big gold rush with these ARM CPUs.
I want to watch Intel burn.
Well, I
They
just said
charge.
that.
They charge so much for their stuff. I just more market. Just keep it coming. I want 800 CPU brands. Let's go. The fact that we've had two major processor makers this long is just crazy.
Yeah, but the question is going to be, what if they took that ARM CPU and shrunk it down? Get this. Shrunk it down into a CC1 and CC2. What then?
I don't know, to be honest.
Well, let's put it this way. That would be the biggest 16 core 32 thread CPU you would ever run. And I guarantee you wouldn't want nothing after that. That would have so much L3 cache, it'd be sick.
Yeah, it would.
It'd definitely be sick. It'll be like over 256 megabytes of L3. I don't think you really want that much now, do you? That sounds crazy.
I mean, more the merrier.
Yeah, true. All right, well, let's focus on since we are mentioning the 4080 Super rumors. Okay, now this is the thing. I'm hearing this is going to come true. They're saying this is going to come true for the 4080 Super. They saw the SKUs, but they're not sure on the specs because nvidia hasn't released the specs yet. What do you think?
The way they flood the market with GPUs of every oh hey, each one has a variant of 6 frames in a game. It's just crazy and a waste to me, but whatever.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Caesar. We'll go a little bit more basic. I know it sounds like it's just a little up there, but let's Dakota, let's roll ourselves back a little bit. Okay. Basically, I'm going to roll back just for a second on the NVIDIA and AMD saga. AMD and NVIDIA are going to be fighting for the rights of the new ARM processor, the one that Apple uses for their Apple phones. They're wanting to make a desktop with that processor. They want to make a desktop processor with that. You're welcome. And this is the thing. The reason why they want to do that, because it has a faster response than the AMD processors the Ryzens have now. Once NVIDIA learned this, that has better responses and everything else, NVIDIA wanted a piece of the processor market. So AMD caught on to that, and they said, to hell with that. They're going to come right behind them and take a part of that market too. So it looks like AMD and NVIDIA are going to monopolize the ARM processors. Those are going to be looking at probably 2026 or 2027. The new processors that go in your PC. Who knows? So anywho, let's get back to the RTX 4080 Super. Is it going to turn big or is it going to turn small? What's going to happen with it? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with it. So, a lot of people are discussing it. Look, I'll just pull this in there. There. It's in discussion right now about this 4080 Super. Just to let you know that. There's the SKU that they're talking about. So I'm just letting you see really quick the SKU. It's an AD103. That's what they're saying it's going to be. That's the processor itself is AD103. Your 40, what doesn't make sense to me is that the AD103 was based upon the regular 4080. Now, why they didn't go up to the AD102 processor, which would have been the 4090, and cut that down, is beyond me. But I could already tell you that the 4080 Super, if they got it at the 4080 at $800 to $900 now, you're looking at between $1,000 and $1,200 for the Super.
Prices of those new cards is just insane to me.
Yeah, it is. I can tell you already the way they're looking at it, that the Super, they're hoping that the Super Series everybody falls into, because if not, and what's going to happen, it's going to be dead in the water. And I bet you they were going to sneak in a 4090 Super too. I bet you any money they had ideas to sneak in a 4090 Super. But this is the thing. They can't do that because why? It's going to take away from their next generation. See, I don't like the way NVIDIA rolls their cards like they do. Is they make one card their top tier, and then they cut down the card like a waterfall effect. And I had this discussion with you many times there, Dakota, about that waterfall effect. Instead of going down and making these smaller cards, what they should have done was they should have started at the bottom and then stacked one on top of the other. Look, one on top of the other, and made a pyramid all the way to the top. Go from your lowest to your highest card. That would have shown the consumer that they had a better chance to get a better card that's more reasonable, and that would have cost less money, and they would have got the amount of cores they wanted on those GPUs. But the problem is AMD does the same thing, and so NVIDIA does the same thing. So, AMD, what they do is they start off with 2 new cards, top level cards. Then they go down to the bottom and give you 2 bottom level cards. Then they go back up to the top and give you 1 top level card, and then go back down to the bottom and give you 1 bottom level card, and then they put 1 card in the middle. And usually that 1 card in the middle is crap. That's what you're left with, is the crap card of it all. They're all crap cards. So you're paying for 1/4 of your performance of that GPU. It's not worth it, because you can go back to other generations and get twice the amount of power than those cards are putting out. That's what they don't want to tell you. Why do you think they give you software updates? How do you think they're able to turn stuff on and turn stuff off of your card? You didn't get it, did you? Nobody got that. That's what they do. They'll turn certain things on, but if it doesn't work in their favor, they'll turn certain things off. Look what they did with the anti-lag 2. The anti-lag 2 that was supposed to be for the 7900 XT and the 7000 series, guess what? You got, Valve that peed in their Wheaties, and what'd they do? They turned off anti-lag 2 because they said it was game cheating. And most of the game makers were saying the same thing. AMD was doing game cheating. Figure that one out. AMD is supposed to have the best graphics card in the world, but they can't even keep their software straight. Ain't that some crap? Why do you think I went with NVIDIA? At least NVIDIA puts their stuff out there. They ain't got the game makers chasing them down. Not to tell them to turn something off. You don't got game makers banning anybody that has NVIDIA cards because NVIDIA did it the right way. No, the only thing everybody complains about NVIDIA is, I'm going to say this once and 1,000 times, it's about the price. That's the only thing that's wrong. That's the only thing that's wrong with NVIDIA is the price.
Yes. NVIDIA is great at making graphics cards. They are absolutely great. Other than power plugs. We won't talk about that. But they're great at making graphics cards. And being able to, produce at the levels they produce at, the amount of money they charge for their cards is ridiculous.
That is true. That's their downfall. Now, if they were to reverse that and make it better, then people would buy their cards. They would be more into the NVIDIA camp. But NVIDIA hasn't figured that out yet. So when NVIDIA figures it out and they leave thousands of dollars on the table because they can't figure out how to rectify this situation because they're telling everybody they really don't care. That's what they're doing. They're telling everybody they really don't care what the gamers do or don't do because they put out the cards, and if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's the way they're putting it. So you pay for the performance, but these cards that you buy from them are a little bit low in performance, but they have the locks and the key. They have the keys to the kingdom. They can unlock certain stuff on the cards. Do remember that through the software. Do a software update, they unlock something. Like I said, there's more power to the cards than being let. Now, if you find somebody that can unlock more of the stuff on the card through a different set of software, then you know what? There you go. Done deal.
Yeah.
Just like that one person sitting there saying that, how am I getting all this performance and they're not getting it? You get the point?
Yeah.
Maybe because I probably have a little bit more experience in, dealing with graphics cards, dealing with motherboards, dealing with everything, dealing with the PC. I'm not bragging about it. It's just I have more years than, some people that are on YouTube. And that's one of my bad part is because I should have started in 2002. I should have, but I didn't. So I think it was in 2002. Yeah, I think so. YouTube came out in 2000 and what? 2008. No, it was out before that.
I could be wrong. Let me look it up real quick.
I thought it was 2002. Or 2007 or something like
2005.
That. Boy.
2005 is when YouTube came out.
Well, see how many years went by and I can't even remember. Ain't that some, That's okay. I make mistakes. 2005. I'm not.
It was kind of in between for both of us. You said 2002. I said 2008. It was in between.
Yeah, true. So,
both, right? 3 off. 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we were both 3 off. It was literally dead center.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere around there. So, but 4080, do expect the 4080 Super. It's coming. Okay, I don't know about the rest of them because, the rest of them are still up in the air, but I can tell you the 4080 Super is going to be coming. That's been leaked down. That's been leaked from, the kingdom of NVIDIA from somebody there. So.
You know what I'm surprised we haven't gotten yet?
What?
A new variant of the 1660. Not like a new variant of the 1660, but like the next generation of the 1660.
Yeah.
It kind of surprises me that we haven't seen that yet. Like I could see a 4070 Super, a 4060 Super, and a 4080 Super. I don't know about a 4090 Super, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. I bet you they're going to sneak that one out. But they're not going to be able to, because that's going to mess up the next generation. Because remember, you got 16,384 cores, right? How are you going to add? How are you going to add on to it?
New silicon?
Yeah, but they're not going to spend that kind of money.
No, you're right.
They're not going to invest another $80,000 to $90,000 to make a super variant that's not going to make them back that much. That variant won't make them back that much.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to look at too. Now, if they went up to the next variant, that probably would. The 5090, and like they do the waterfall effect from 5090 on down. So, but as far as a TI version or a super version of the 4090, I don't think that's going to happen. Is because they would have to create all new silicon to do that. Or what they could do is they could do the AD100 and cut that down, but they're using the AD100 for their super chips for their AI program. I don't think they're going to do that. You get the point?
Yeah.
So that's why China wants to get their hands on the AD102, which is the 4090, because it's a cut down version of the AD100 variant. You see why the U.S. put a ban as of what was it, end of October, which would be 2 days away. Yeah, because they figured out that the 4090 was good for doing the AI programming. 4090's got a lot of power that's not been unlocked yet. So whoever got the 4090, do enjoy it, because I guarantee there's a lot more power behind it than you think. I think nvidia's been holding back out on us. That's what I think. So, moving on down the road, everybody. Okay, now this is one thing that really got me, was to have a 4060 with an SSD card slot. Oh. And this is something Asus was cooking up a while back, but they gave up, and now they're trying at it again. So this is from video cards. They did mention this earlier this week.
I will be right back. I have some things I want to share about this topic too, but I'll be right back.
Okay, well, hurry back, man. We'll be here. Let's see. It's worth mentioning, from what they're saying, it's worth mentioning that the inclusion of SSDs in graphics cards isn't an entirely new idea. AMD has already used storage as a large buffer in a workstation GPU, Radeon Pro SSG. Okay, but this concept never reached the consumer market. Asus has a slight different approach. They put a little twist on it. Just to let you know. The SSD on their card doesn't directly benefit the GPU's performance, but rather serves as an adapter for an additional M.2 slot on the motherboard. Okay, so you get a GPU that's an X16 PCIe 4.0 X16 slot. So you're now going to use a PCIe 4.0 X4 and take four lanes away from the graphics card. Why would you do that? By decreasing 4 lanes from your graphics card will put you at a PCIe 4.0 X8. It might be an X12, in that mix, but it doesn't go as X12. It takes 1/2 of the bandwidth away to share it with your to share the SSD with your GPU. It takes 1/2 of the bandwidth away.
Well, wasn't it the I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back.
It's the 4060 only uses an X8 slot anyways, correct? It's only X8 speeds.
Yeah, but if see, you got to understand, if they didn't put the wire in, no, you're right. If they would have put the wire in for the other 8 slots, then they would have made it a full 16.
Yep. I love this idea. People with small form factor ITX computers who want to be able to have more storage but can't because they have a very small motherboard that doesn't support a whole lot of M.2s. I love this.
You know what's more functional about that? You ever heard of that direct storage?
Yeah, I have. I don't know much about it, but I've heard about it.
Okay. Now it's coming out on Windows 11. Direct storage. If you do a graphics card like this with an SSD card on it and you're doing direct storage, think about it. How fast do you think your GPU is going to be running then? Why do you think Asus is doing this little bend? Asus is doing this because if they can take and put the SSD the closest they can to the GPU when direct storage comes out, you can put your operating system on that GPU and it's connected direct. So that's got a shorter distance than taking it off from the motherboard to the GPU. You see the point?
Yeah.
You're going from one section of the GPU to the next section. So it's just as close as having integrated graphics on your processor. But now with the storage, this makes your storage run even faster. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. But the bad idea, here's the bad. The bad's going to be is that you're going to push more stress on that SSD card, and it's going to burn up faster by the simple fact of pushing that much information. Going faster and faster and faster is going to push more heat onto that SSD, causing that SSD to break down faster, and you only get 6 months of life out of it. So, something to think about. You're going from having 5 years of life on an SSD card down to 6 months. So, I really would think about that twice. Unless you're using it for cache. Now you can put cache on an SSD and use that for your GPU if you didn't know that.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you can add more cache to your GPU by using a part of your hard drive to do it, or a separate hard drive to do it. If you didn't know that, it's been done for years. That's how people were able to make their system run faster. So now, if you use that SSD as a cache, then that'll extend the life of the SSD. Because, the cache isn't used as much as you think. Other than, using a storage bin. Using a storage bin, you're going to fill it up and empty it, fill it up, empty it more times than you're going to use the cache to fill it up and empty it. So if you got 1 terabyte of cache, you're never going to fill it up. Think about it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So it will move your graphics card a lot faster. So you'll get more performance that way. But using it as a regular storage drive, I don't know. Like I said, and get direct storage, I have a feeling it'll burn that up a little bit faster. See, because usually your SSDs have a built-in cache, like 512 megabyte or 256 megabyte built-in cache for the SSD. Mm-hmm. Some do, some don't. The one I got does. It has a 256 megabyte SSD cache. That's why I'm running at speeds of like between 8,000 to 10,000 on the read. I've already benchmarked mine. So that's what makes a big difference when you know what when you know what components you're using in your PC and you do your research, then you know how fast or how slow your stuff is going to go. I do. That's why I always try to tell everybody, learn what parts you put in your PC. Start with your motherboard. Your motherboard's the heart of your PC. And I'm going to keep saying that till the day I die. So. But I mean, I'm going to look at it like this. They're only going to use they're already talking about this costing 500, was it 90, was it
Whoa, how much does it cost?
They're saying 559 euro.
Oh, 559 euro. What is that to USD?
No idea. I'd have to look on the calculator.
Oh my gosh. Almost 600 US dollars. Not worth it. That's a cool feature, but it is not worth it. Not even close.
No, not for a 4060.
No.
$600 for a 4060?
You can get a brand new 4060 right now on Amazon for literally $289 for a PNY model. Or if you want to get an Asus one, $300 for an Asus card.
Well, that's supposed to be the new fad with the M.2 SSD built onto it.
It's not worth $300 though.
Yeah, it's not worth $600 neither. Now when you can get a 4070.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is the 4060 by itself is $300. So if they're gonna ask $600 for it, that's double the price.
Exactly.
That little feature by itself is not worth. No, that's just crazy.
If you want, now listen, if you want that kind of feature, and I'm going to give you all another helpful little hint. Buy an M.2 drive plug-in card to your your PCIe 4.0 X8 slot and just plug it in there. It's about the same thing. When you buy one of those expander cards to put your M.2 drive on and you plug it into the X8 slot, it's about the same thing.
Yeah.
It's close to it, but it's about the same thing. So it's still going to take away 4 lanes or 8 lanes. Yeah, I think it's still going to take 8 lanes. And when you got an 8-lane graphics card, there's your full 16. So what are you going to do? Would you rather spend like, let's say $20-some on an expander card and maybe $32 on a 1 terabyte drive and plug it into your secondary X16 port? That way you can get M.2 SSD experience if your computer doesn't have it built on. That's what I'm going to do with this Dell Optiplex. It has an SSD drive, but you know, that's a plug-in drive. This is like putting an M.2 right into the computer, the heart of the computer, to make it run faster. So, and that's got DDR3. That's going to have 16 gigabytes of DDR3, but I'll tell you what, that computer right there, I've been running it for going on 2 to 3 years. That computer still rocks. And you put the right graphics card with it, it games. I know it games. And it games very well. You know, I bet you I can plug this 4070 into that computer. Wouldn't that be something?
Be pretty cool. I'd be interested to see some benchmarks from it.
Yeah, well, the problem with that is I'm not going to be able to do that until I get another graphics card to go into my main PC. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out. You know, I still gotta decide if I want to get an AMD card or another nvidia card. So,
are you thinking about upgrading?
Not yet.
Okay, I was gonna say the 4070 is a pretty good card.
Like I told everybody, I'm not gonna release it for 5 years out of this system. It's in this system for 5 years. Because if you look at it, if you bought a graphics card every year and you spend, let's get the calculator, and y'all, you know how much y'all love the calculator. So let's go ahead and just bump down to the brass tacks of this. Okay. Here. Let me move this around a little bit so y'all can see it. Okay, that's the only part you need to see. So, all right. So, well, we'll have to bust it out right there. Okay. Now, if you took and bought a $300 graphics card, and you did that for 5 years, right? You're spending $1,500, right? So you divide that, you minus 600, and you overpaid by $900 because I bought one graphics card that's going to last me 5 years, and I've saved myself $900. Performance-wise, the performance is not going to drop off for 5 years. You got some cards that have been rocking for 10 years that are still rocking today. If that doesn't make sense, it does. Because remember, you're only using the graphics card really for visualization, for your monitor. It's just a gateway between what's on your computer to your monitor. It's a gateway with a little bit of a boost, and that's pretty much all it is. It deciphers the textures and manipulates them to put them onto your monitor. Has nothing to do with your FPS. How many times I'm going to tell everybody, it has nothing to do with your FPS. What has to deal with your FPS is, believe it or not, is your processor. Your processor's got a lot to do with your FPS, but it doesn't work that hard to get you the FPS. It only has to work between 10 and 30% for you to get high amounts of FPS. I've already proven that fact in one video where I took and bled all the system RAM down to, let's say, maybe 100 megs of system RAM, all the way down to about 100 megs of system RAM. And my FPS went from 500 to 15. So that's telling me that the system RAM is controlling the FPS that's for the game. Not the graphics card. So the graphics card's only manipulating the textures. And you can read up on it, and I'm just going to tell you can read up on it all you want. It's going to tell you the same damn thing. What's been proven, tested and proven, is that when you bleed off the VRAM from the graphics card down to nothing, causes distortion on the pictures, but what's not lost? The FPS. So you still need your system RAM as well as your VRAM for your graphics card, because, and everybody's going to say, well, how do you know that? Well, if you go into Task Manager, you go to Performance, you go to Memory, and I'll show you why. Right there. Right there. Okay. This right here says available RAM, which I got 57.4 gigabytes of RAM left. Okay. Now committed down here is basically your virtual RAM. So you got part of your virtual RAM right here. Now, your cache is 3.4 gigabytes. And that's all coming from, that cache is coming from your system RAM. It's not coming from the GPU. Now, that's where this pool comes in to transfer from one section to the next for your system RAM. So if that doesn't make enough sense to y'all, then, go look it up. Okay, because right here, dedicated GPU memory is 12 gigabytes. But right here, you see what I'm saying, Dakota?
Yeah.
Now, the dedicated GPU memory is 12 gigabytes. Okay, now I'm only using 1 gigabyte right now. But with the virtual memory, that's usually meaning what's on the hard drive to utilize for your virtual memory is more or less like virtual, it's like cache. Okay. Something in that nature. So if you look at it like this, then you'll see that you'll take 12 gigabytes and you'll minus it from the 43.9, and you'll see 31.9 gigabytes of RAM that's utilized from the system RAM.
Excuse me.
So you need your system in order for your discrete graphics card to function. You still need your system RAM. So there's no getting around that. Not unless they do a direct upload and download, or when they do direct drive, that they connect that part of the virtual RAM mixes in with the GPU, the GPU RAM, where they have the direct storage mix in with that. So that way, instead of the V cache, the V cache that's needed to keep the graphics card going, that they're going to make a V cache off of the direct storage and go that route. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of. I'm not super well versed in this topic.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it later. It's just, it's just basically, it's coming down to the fact of what they're doing with this SSD, built onto this graphics card. I don't think it's good. It's going to be a beneficial thing. It's going to be good and bad. It's going to have its ups and downs. That's all I'm going to say. So
yeah.
But and then, it comes to when you're talking about CPUs and not GPUs. The new AM5 series or the AM6 series that's going to be coming out, that with the higher density Ryzen chips is going to cause the chip to run hotter. So what are you going to do when they get up to the Zen 5 and the Zen 6 core? Do you think they really can take it that far to where you can run a processor chip up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit?
Like I said, I have a feeling that a lot of these companies are just going to start selling OEM liquid coolers for their graphics cards. I could see them doing it.
Right. But I can tell you 200 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius would be 93 C. 93 Celsius.
Yeah.
200 degrees is almost the temperature. It's a little bit over the temperature of your car. Because your car only heats up to a degree of 180.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my radiator in my computer is bigger than the radiator in my car.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is what they're claiming. The TJ Maxx of 95C. I really don't think that those processors are bulletproof when it comes to that point. I don't think the CCD die will handle it. Okay. I really don't think so. I really don't think it's possible. It's not feasible. But you're looking at, a computer running almost at 700 to 800 watts. So you're going to need a 1200 watt processor because you have to allow 350 watts for transient spikes. So you're going to need a 1200 watt PSU to do that. I really don't see it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing it. And I'm not believing it. You know, I really ain't. I mean, the motherboard would catch fire at that point.
Yeah.
Motherboard's only zoned up to about maybe, some are only zoned up between 195 and 198 degrees Fahrenheit before they start burning and cracking. Some are. Those are usually the ones with the VRAM with the 4.2.2. You know, they're like less layers because they don't have that much delivering power. They're very light in delivering power. So, but all in all, that all depends. I'm not going to be running a processor that's going to be running over 200 degrees. No way.
Yeah.
Because that'd be like sticking my car in my place here and taking the 78 degrees and pushing it up to about 92. I don't think so.
Sounds comfy. What are you talking?
It sounds complicated. To me, it sounds complicated, but I don't think I'll be doing that. Not whatsoever. Do you have anything on your plate today there, sir?
I don't. Mostly, I wanted to talk a little bit about the how cool it is that the 4060, considering it's an X8, is using its other X8 to run the M.2. I think it's less cool now that I hear that it's $600. That bums me out.
Yeah, well, I knew that would take you to go out there and get your drink and get your snacks. You know, you have to.
Yeah.
I did, but my drink ain't $600. No way, Jose, man. My point is this: if you spend $600 just to get that bump, then you could have went and bumped your head on something when you could have went and spent like maybe $50 and went and got the whole setup and just plugged it into the secondary slot. But I can understand if everybody's running motherboards that only have a single slot, a single X16 slot. I can understand that. To where they don't get the advantage of running two different slots. I can see that. But I can't see that you spending an extra $300 to do that, get a motherboard with an extra 2 slots for that same price. That'll do an upgrade for you and give you a better thing. Wouldn't you agree to that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a better motherboard upgrade for that price.
Oh, for sure.
And on top of that, you can get the plug-in M.2. It wouldn't make... See, if you got a motherboard that has room for 2 M.2 slots, it makes absolutely no sense to do that. None. See, but what I did was on mine, instead of me having an M.2 in the PCIe 4.0 slot, I put mine down in the 3.0 slot. So my M.2s run PCIe 3.0 X4 because it goes off of the coprocessor instead of going directly off of the processor, because I didn't want to take the bandwidth away from my GPU. You see?
Fair. Yeah.
But it takes the bandwidth away from what I'm not using on the motherboard, is 2 SATA slots. That's what the M.2 takes away, is the 2 SATA slots. Instead of the the 4 lanes that's on the graphics card, making it go down to a 4.0x8. Mine still runs at a 4.0x16. So I took away off of 2 SATA slots, which I don't use, and that runs my operating system through to the processor, through a coprocessor chip. I didn't take away from my speed. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand that. They say, "Oh yeah, run your M.2 in that 4.0 slot." No, you don't. Because then you're taking away an extra 8 lanes away from your graphics card, and now you're busting it down to PCIe 4.0x8. You took away 8 lanes just because of that one graphics card. Or not that one M.2 SSD card.
Yeah.
It's no storage is worth that. Not when you can take and run a regular hard disk drive off of the 1 through 4 SATA slot and get your extra storage that way. See, that's the reason why I run my system that way, is because I get more speed out of the 3.0 section that I'm happy with. I don't need to be in the 4.0 slot. Make sense?
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna prove something else. I'm gonna pull up something, and I'm gonna show you all something. So that way you can see that I'm not BSing, and everybody's saying, "Oh, he's just BSing." I'm not BSing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull something up, and I'm gonna show you all, if I can find it. Let's see. Where is it? I forgot what. Oh, Crystal Dismark. There it is. We'll run Crystal Dismark 64. All right. Sorry about the little flash about that, y'all. Okay. Now, watch this. I'll just run the test right here in front of y'all. That's not bad. Don't you think?
Wait, temperatures?
No. I'm running Crystal Dismark, but I got you got to remember, I have everything running at the same time. So it's using this hard drive pretty hard.
Yeah, you asked that, and I looked over, and everything was at 0 because there's a slight lag. So I'm just like, it just says 40 Celsius. Is that what he's talking about? I forgot about the lag.
Yeah, you got to remember, everything's going to be running a little bit differently because, with me doing online streaming, I got, Discord open. I got many things open that I'm not going to reach the potential of at least 8,000 to 9,000 read speeds, and the utmost of the write speeds, because I got all this extra stuff running. So it does take it down a notch when you got all this running, which I already knew this. But at least you can see with all this running, I'm still getting great speeds. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, you can't. I mean, if your speeds were knocked down to like 500, that'd be a different story. Then you're running about at the speed of a hard disk drive. but I'm running at M.2 SSD. The speeds don't stay up there at 10,000 with everything running in the background. You'll be lucky to get 2 gigs, close to 2 gigs, no matter what drive, no matter what SSD M.2 drive you use. You'll be lucky just to get that. Because if you can get 2 gigs per second, you're doing good. I know, I tested this drive and I know what it does. Now, y'all seen right there, you're probably now just getting the results of that. Right?
Dang.
But I did run an offline test to everybody when I was recording a video. I did one of those tests and it showed it being up at 9,000. 9 to 10,000.
What is on your system? Are you like referring to my system specs?
No, that's running my M.2 SSD.
Oh, I'm talking to Caesar. He asked in the comments there, what is on your system? If it is my system specs, right now I'm using a i9 9900K, and I got an RTX 3090 by EVGA. I got 32 gigs of RAM on a EK water-blocked Asus motherboard with like a custom radiator and all that stuff. I have a new computer built, but I don't have all the hardware yet to finish it. And that's a i7 12700K. And that's got a 3090 in it as well. I was just trying to look, because you brought up the sharing lanes, and so I was trying to figure out, because I have an M.2 expansion slot on my computer. But from everything I read online, the performance hit to your 3090 is like negligible. It's barely noticeable, running it at X8 to X16.
Yeah, the performance hit, if you're running, well, there's a difference. If you're running a motherboard with a single M.2 drive, there is no performance hit.
Yeah, I got 3 M.2s.
Well, that's only if you use the first one. The main one, which would be right above your graphics card. I
don't have one above my graphics card.
Or below it, there's one that's close to it.
Both of mine are at the bottom of the motherboard.
Oh,
neither one of them are close to my top slot.
That's right. You're running MSI, ain't you? Or Gigabyte?
No, it's Asus.
You're running Asus?
Yeah, it is the Asus Maximus 11. That's why.
Yeah. You're running the 780, right? Or 790 or something like that?
No, it's a Z690.
Oh.
9th gen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're running Intel, that's why. You're not running AMD. AMD usually has their M.2 so really close to the processor. So
I think most motherboards are that way, because most of my other motherboards, they have the M.2 right above the first X16 slot. I just think my motherboard's weird. But I had 3 M.2s though. So I used the 2 that's on the motherboard, and then I got an X16 to M.2 adapter, and I'm using that as well.
Well, I have 2 M.2 slots, but one's a 3.0 X4 and the other one's a 4.0 X4. So, but if you use the 4.0 X4, it takes away from the graphics card. So what I decided to do was plug in my operating system to the 3.0, which doesn't take away from the speed, and I use my regular hard disk drive. I plug that in as a SATA. So
yeah,
I mean, I got 15 terabytes of hard drive space. So what can I complain about, right?
I should just figure out how to set up a network associated storage and just boot my whole computer off of a network associated storage. That way I have no hindrance on my graphics card at all.
Which you could do through Windows Local.
I would still have to have the operating system on my computer, though.
No, you could use regular Windows operating system and go off of Windows to Windows through your network.
Yeah. What I was saying though is, I was being like hypothetical as saying it would be cool to have no storage drives at all inside my computer and just hook to it via network.
Ooh.
But that's impossible. It'd be cool though.
Not impossible.
You'd have to have a custom BIOS. You'd have to have some way of accessing it.
You have to have a startup. You have to have a startup.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of operating system, which is why I'm saying it's literally impossible.
I don't know about that. I heard about people doing something, modifying the BIOS, putting in a boot step, which boots off of their server.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. All you need is a master boot record and trick the BIOS to believe there's still a master boot record there. That's all you need.
I actually have 5 SSDs in total on my computer. 3 are M.2s and 2 are SATAs. I think the 2 that are SATAs aren't plugged in though. I think they're just in there. Like the SATA cables and stuff are hooked up to them, but they're not plugged into the motherboard.
Caesar, no, don't be sorry about anything. Everything's cool, man. You asked a question, we're delivering the answers. It's all good. It's the reason why me and Dakota are on this talk show. You asked him questions, he answers them. You ask me questions, I answer them. That's the way it goes. That's how this channel rolls. You guys asking, we deliver. So it's all good. I just got a question though, Caesar. I got a question now. I didn't see you popping up regularly in the video responses. What's up with that?
He's probably been busy.
Yeah. Man, he's got and just to be honest with you, he's got some real life things going on, I can't say what, but he's got some real life things going on. It's respectable. It's respectable,
Yeah. No, that's fair. We all got stuff going on.
Yeah, true that. I know I do. Oh, and that's another thing I'm going to be bringing up to y'all really quick. Okay, I decided that, since the holidays are around and everything else, for the next couple months, till like January or February, I'm going to be doing videos on Friday and Saturday. For the next couple months, just Friday and Saturday. After a year, I decided I needed a break. I couldn't wait until I did 400 videos, and I do apologize for that, but the man needs a break. So I'm going to still continue to do Graphics Card Nightmares and the live video on Saturday. Friday's Graphic Card Nightmare, Saturday is the live videos for the next couple months. So hopefully everybody is watching that, and this gives me a little bit of break and able to get my health stuff caught up and everything else. Just let y'all know that. So
that's about how I feel with my medical stuff coming up. I won't even be on the podcast for a while.
Yeah,
but that won't be till December.
Well, no, I know it won't be, man. I know you got your personal stuff going on too, and I do respect that 100%. So, And that's the reason why I asked you the question, when you're going to be going in, and you told me in December, so.
Yep. Hopefully I'll feel like a new man afterwards.
Yep. Hopefully so. And you're welcome, Caesar. You're welcome. No problem. No problem at all. I know this sounds like we're winding down the video a little bit, but we're kind of winding down the live session a little bit. So we're just kind of going off the rails right now, because really we done talked about everything we needed to talk about, as I foreseen. So, oh, you really been sick? Oh, man. I hope you're getting better, though. I hope you're getting better, man. You need to get better. Oh, my goodness. I've been sick I've been sick in the mind for too many years. Just kidding.
Say, hopefully it's not the big C that's going around again.
Oh, yeah, they're already saying something about that, too. They're already ready to reinitialize that goddamn stuff.
Yeah, be careful. YouTube really doesn't like that topic. I know my one of my buddies' whole family's dealing with it right now, and with my surgery coming up, I'm not going outside. I'm trying to avoid going in restaurants and stuff. Considering it almost killed me the last time I had it, I don't need that again. No more hospital bills. I'm sick of being in the hospital.
Yeah, I hear you.
Freaking dentist work, dude. Do you realize how much dentist work costs? I'm dual covered. Dual. I have 2 dental insurances.
Yeah.
And they told me I needed 3 root canals. And it was like $9,000 after both of my insurances.
You know what I'd say about the root canals? Just pull them once pull them, each one of them out. That's what I'd tell them.
That's what I'm doing. So the joke is I'm now 26. I'm going to have partial dentures and 2 hip replacements. I'm speed running life at this point.
Oh, wow. You need to drink more beer, man.
I can't drink alcohol because I got stomach issues.
Damn.
I did joke about buying a late 90s Buick, though, and then driving slow in the fast lane.
Well, actually, you know what? You get a late 90s Buick, and you give it some moonshine and give it your drink to that. Let it drink it for you.
There we go. Everybody knows Buicks run on alcohol.
Yeah. Smash a hall.
I almost owned a, I don't remember what year it was. I think it's made by Buick. Did Buick make the Riviera?
I think so, yeah.
Let's see here.
Either that or it's Dodge.
No, it's Buick. I just Googled it. Yeah, it was an 80s era Buick Riviera. It had a soft top. It was a hard top, but it was like that fabric they put over. It was like chalk gray, and a guy wanted to trade it to me for my 2005 Chevy Cavalier at the time, and I would have taken him up on it. I think it was a V6. It might have been a V8. I would have taken him up on it, except for he told me it would pass inspection, and he turned it on, and the exhaust started rolling out from underneath the front fender, and I'm like, this is not going to pass inspection. So I turned him down. Cool cars, though. I want to say it was in... Oh, let's see here. What year is this one? This is what it looked like. Sorry if you can hear my AC kick on.
Yeah. And Caesar, it's all good. All good. Trust us. It's all good. I can't drink neither, So, oh, tomorrow's your
Well,
birthday?
happy early birthday.
Happy birthday, bruh. Happy birthday, man.
My birthday's coming up too.
My birthday is every day.
My birthday is August of next year.
Oh,
right around right around the corner.
yeah, well, it comes down to that fashion. I'm not pushing my age anytime soon. So that's the way I look at it. The longer I can prolong to not have my birthday, the better I'm off. I just ignore people when they say happy birthday to you. And I say, no, you're missing it. It's my birthday is not until next month. And then I just keep prolonging it for the next 5 years. And they's like, when were you born?
Turns out he was 25 the whole time.
I was born in leap year.
Every 4 years you get a birthday. I like that. That's incredible.
Let's do some pray. That is true, Caesar. That is true. Some people don't drink, but they pray more. But they pray on your pocket, though.
Hey now. I'm one of those people that pray. I don't pray on no pockets.
Well, God bless you then. No,
I don't know if that felt real sincere after the whole pocket. I'm kidding.
Well, it's not that we right now, the way things are going, we all need the man above to take care of us, because obviously crap is coming downhill and it's coming down fast.
Yes.
And with all this talk about, the WWIII, y'all do the math. I'm not going to say what it is because YouTube will ban your video if you mention anything about the WAR.
Is the WWIII? Is that the one with Undertaker in it?
Yeah, something like that.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Does he even wrestle anymore? I haven't watched wrestling in years.
Neither have I, so I have no idea. Even on YouTube, and I don't watch them, believe it or not.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has retired.
What, since '98?
I don't know.
I bet you it's since '98, but he came out of retirement. Just to have that last stand fight with the KO, Kevin Owens. No, I don't watch wrestling that much.
I hate Kevin Owens. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I don't watch it either. I just don't like his little face.
He's just like one of those bratty kids that gets spoiled once in a while, and once you spoil them, they just come back for more and more, and they won't leave you alone.
Well, it's his character. They all play characters. It's not real.
Hey, Caesar, what's up with the monkey? I didn't do it. I swear to God, I'm not monkeying around, man. I didn't do it. This is just like the end of the video. We're down to the last little bits of the video. And we're just chit-chatting and just saying, hey, what's up? And, all in all. Go ahead, Dakota. Say what's on your mind, man.
Oh, I don't got much else left. It looks like the last time Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestled was April 2022. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Well, all I got to say is that, if you have not subscribed and you made it down to the close to the end of this live stream, then we do appreciate you making it down to the end, but stick around all the way to the end till we get down to the final bits of the screen. Then, we'll end it there. But We are having this every Saturday from here on out is live stream. This is where you can come in, you can, chat with us, have fun, and have a good time. And if you're not having a good time, well, then get out of the stream. You might as well go on about your business. Because if you're not having fun here, there's a problem. There's a big problem. It's either that the neighbor come up and, knocked on your door and says, give me a cup of sugar now, or something like that. Or you got somebody knocking on your door. Would you like to buy a box of cookies? Would you like to buy a box of cookies?
Yes, I'll buy all of them. Oh, wait. You're not selling cookies? Oh, God dang it. You lied to me.
Not when they're selling the boxes for $10 a piece. And you only get 4 cookies. Hell with that. Come on, man.
Being fat is expensive.
That's more than expensive. That's like giving somebody a gold tooth. I ain't doing that.
That is actually something that upset me at the dentist office. Because they told me I needed 3 root canals and they wanted them capped.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm going to get them capped, I want gold teeth. And they're like, we don't do that anymore. We only do porcelain.
Yeah.
You're going to charge me $9,000 and you're not even going to give me gold teeth? What the heck?
That's sad. That is really sad, man.
That's why I told him to pull it. I'm like, if you can't give me gold teeth, just yank them out. I don't want them anymore. It's gold or nothing.
Wow, you bumped into the man at the mailbox there, Caesar, and he just looked at you. Well, I hope he said at least hello.
I ran into somebody once.
I did too, and I knocked their teeth out.
Oh, I walked into my supervisor. I was looking at a shop order, and I was just walking through the plant, and I was looking down at the paper, and I looked up, and just, boom, him and I slammed right off of each other. It was great. It was like my first week working there, too. I'm like, well, this is it. This is how I go.
Wow. You know what's amazing to me is, and y'all don't get me wrong, y'all putting likes on the video, and then when we get down to the end, the likes on the video start disappearing. And I can see that from here too.
I'll like the video. Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to like the video if I'm on stream?
Yeah, you can. All you do is you hit the X, you hit the little X on the box on YouTube, and then you go and you like the video. And then you can go and hit the little chat thingy, click on the chat thingy, and it'll bring you back to the stream.
I just clicked the thumbs up. That's it. That's all I had to do.
Well, I'm hoping someday that I can wear the crown to the castle. But obviously right now I ain't there yet. So that's what everybody's trying to tell me. I ain't get the crown yet. So
yeah, fight Linus in a 1v1 match.
Dude, understand this. I'm not fighting those guys. Those guys they're on their own level. I'm on my own level.
Yeah, but can they fight? Can they fight though? Is what I'm saying. They might be able to make YouTube videos, but can they get in a cage match with you and win? I doubt it. You look like you could beat them up.
Truthfully, with me having brain injury, I don't think I can fight anybody right now. Because all it's going to do is take one pop in my head and I'm done. That's what
with my hip issues, I'm the same way. You just kick me in the hip, my freaking femur will snap and I'm done. I'll just be laying on the ground crying.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, I know, man. We're all in that health issue kind of thing. But I'm
all right. I guess I won't be fighting Gamers Nexus.
Look, I'm not fighting nobody, and I'm gonna make this clear to everybody. and I want y'all to understand this. I don't fight other YouTubers that are in the community. They fight with each other. I'm just watching and, get a couple giggles here and there. But, when they fight with each other, I'm not fighting with nobody. I have no beef with them. They have no beef with me.
I'm not trying to imply that you do. I was just, it was a satirical, because YouTubers fighting each other seems to be a trend. Like actually fighting, not like beefing over the internet, but actually like going to a cage match and actually wrestling and recording it.
Oh, you bumped into Steve? Where'd you bump into Steve from? This is going to be a question. Over there at
pretty cool.
Caesar, where were you at when you bumped into Steve? Don't tell me he's sitting by you. Because then Dakota's going to have to go and run.
Nah, I'll accept my fate. As long as he shakes my hand afterwards, I'd love to meet him. If he wants to fight me, though, I'll try. I'll put up a valiant effort.
You ain't going to fight that dude, man.
He'd probably whiplash me with his hair, blind me, and then punch me in my bad leg.
No. That man will put his Revlon look on and just give you that eye.
He'll destroy my YouTube career before I even have one.
You ever seen those Clairol commercials where they do the hair?
I think so. Yeah.
It's got to be the hair, man. People are still living back in the 90s and the 80s with the hair, dude. With the rock and roll hairdo. Everybody's, back puffing on the splooge and, just having a hair look and, doing their thing. So that was back in the 90s and the 80s.
Okay, there is something going. This might kick me. I need to change my VPN. This is like none of my websites are loading. It just says that it's been blocked. My IP address has been blocked by this website. Give me a sec.
If you're on a virtual private network, man, let me tell you something. Some websites will not load.
All right. I'm now officially in Toronto, Canada. Let's go.
Well, I'm just saying some websites won't load because the VPN just, if you got a revolving VPN, it just doesn't sit in one spot. It moves every couple hours. So it revolves to a different spot. It could revolve over to Europe. And usually some websites that are here in the United States that restrict going over there to Europe, guess what happens?
And that's literally like, mine doesn't revolve. Mine is static, which is what I want because I want to be able to set it to Europe so I can watch shows on Netflix.
Oh.
Cambridge, MA.
Oh, cool. Cool, man.
That's pretty cool.
You're talking about Manchester. Caesar, you're talking about Manchester, right? I think he's talking about.
Isn't MA Massachusetts?
It is, but if you're in Europe, it's Manchester.
Oh, if he ran in Steve, I don't think he would have ran in Steve in Manchester.
You don't get what I just said, Manchester.
Oh.
See, you'll catch on sooner or later. I had to throw that in there. My bad. I should have never said. I should have never said Manchester. So, I guess my little dry jokes everybody don't get. But anyway,
I'm pretty dense, so.
Well, I'll tell you what. We got 9 more minutes, and then we're gonna be up for the 2-hour special for today. Just to let you know. Actually, we got 10 minutes. So, I have, and you know what? I am very impressed, man. I have no drop frames. This whole video went from A to Z with no drop frames. You can believe that?
It's pretty nuts.
I don't know, Caesar, ask him. He is cool, man.
Thanks, boss.
Do you remember the 10-second delay, right?
Yep. Now I remember. Earlier I didn't.
Yeah. You got to remember there's always a 10-second delay from the time we talk to the time we respond to who,
Yeah.
him on the chat. So there's like that 10-second delay. Just to let you know, Caesar, there's a 10-second delay, but we are communicating with you slowly, but we're getting there. Oh, Boston, Massachusetts.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking Cambridge, Manchester. I really don't know why I was thinking about that. Maybe it's because of our bro over there in Europe that gets on,
Back in the 90s, dang.
True, back in the 90s.
So officially bumped into him after my car was made.
I don't know. How'd you get a bump on the head?
What?
How'd you get a bump on the head? Hello?
I don't have any bumps on the head. I have one. It's my nose.
Well, why is your wife standing behind you with a hammer? You ain't got no bump and lumps on your head. How many lumps did she give you this morning?
She uses a rubber mallet. It's different.
No, dude, that's ball peen hammer.
Ow.
Yeah. I had an ex like that. She would tell me that if I wasn't home at a certain time, she would take this ball peen hammer and wrap me upside the head.
Jeez.
And she was serious too, dude.
Yikes.
I had a curfew if I wasn't home. A curfew.
My wife and I are not like that at all.
Well, we weren't married, but she had a curfew, all right. And you know what my curfew said? My 15 shoe said, "Boot, there you go. There's your curfew. Have a nice night." So she got her curfew right out the front door with all her clothes. I threw them right out the front door.
Jeez.
Yeah. I said, "Now you want to use that hammer? You think that's funny? There, that's funny."
Gave her the old
and then she gives me a whimper. "Can I come back, please?" I said, "I'll think about it if you decide to leave that hammer in the car." So she left the hammer in the car, all right. You know what she did with the hammer? She threw it through the window.
Okay. In her defense, though, You didn't say roll the window down first. You just said throw it in the car.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh.
Oh, thank you, Caesar. Yeah, I figured out what the problem was. With the cam, it has an FPS meter on it, and the problem was I had it set at 30 FPS by default of the system. Just by default of the system. So I turned it up to unlimited. So I'm using unlimited FPS on that camera. Now it works. Now everybody can see me. Now I look clear. I look like an old man. Y'all see me with fuzz, and y'all thought that I was keeping like a sheet around my face, and it wasn't really a beard. Well, guess what? It's white and it's a beard. There you go.
You mean that's not a scarf? My entire life is a lie.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, when I had a beard and I was working in the restaurant industry, they said I had to wear a diaper. I ain't putting no damn diaper around my face, or you gotta be kidding me. And one guy walked up, he said, yeah, all that crap coming out your mouth, yeah. I said, yeah, well, why don't you put it on before I fire you?
I was just glad that I was done at the restaurant that I worked at before I decided to start growing like a serious beard.
Yeah.
So I never had to deal with that.
I think for next week I'm gonna shave mine off. I think I'm gonna shave it all off.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's coming time.
You should keep the goatee and mustache. I think you could rock that.
I tried that one time. Problem is it got in front of my nose, and I kept sneezing so much.
Oh.
Yeah, allergies. You get real bad when you got a mustache. Collects all the lint and dust and everything else. Okay, back when we had 386, 4086, and so on. PCs for work for PCs for everyone, which is true. That is true. Back then, when they had the 286, 386, and 486s, there was plenty of work back then. You know, because back then, they really didn't have that many parts, and people wanted better PCs. So what they're doing is modifying what they had. And the reason why they were modifying what they had is because back then on the older PCs, like the 286 and the 386s, you can go onto the motherboard and you can solder a jumper wire from one little, resistor over here to boot out over there, and then turn around and speed up behind the scenes of your BIOS, the processor, to give it more power. Oh, wow. God, that's been so many years ago since I did that. Oh, my God. See, there are things that I've done back years ago that, is like amazing. Especially when you're trying to get your graphics. Back then it was like maybe first level graphics. Not like 3D, like 1D graphics. I mean, those back then, that's all you have back then was the 1D.
I'm curious, Caesar. Do you check? I'm just curious. I checked out a PCs for Everyone website, and it's not in English. It's in Czech. CZECH.
PCS for everyone?
Yeah, it's PCS for everyone. I just wanted to check it out. He said he used to work there.
Well, some sites, if you can work for, they can be of different languages. But you never know.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Well,
PC solutions for everyone.
Well, since y'all were talking about it, I had to go and take a poke at it. Oh, that's why I can't get it. That's why I can't get it. I can't see that one because I don't have a VPN.
Well, it might be my thing auto-corrected to PS4s for everyone. So you might have to make sure it's not trying to show you something that you're not looking for.
Oh, like I was looking for nudies or something?
No, it auto-corrects to PS4 instead of PCS4.
Oh.
Computer company.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at it later. Definitely have a look at it. If I get past that firewall they got. It so amazes me that, everybody looks at the video that I did. What was it? Let's see, roll it back. The video that I did for Naraka, I did that on Tuesday, the testing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm surprised that, some, not just one, I had another one say to me about they can't get the FPS I'm getting. And that's the reason why I brought it up today, because I wanted to clarify it a little bit more so everybody understood the reason why. Yeah, true, local bus. Yeah, I remember. Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you what, y'all. It is now ding, ding, ding. We're now at the end of the video. So.
Yeah, we definitely went past 10 minutes.
No, we're only past 3 minutes. So anyway, thank you, Caesar, for coming out and keeping us company. We do appreciate it, and you are recognized here on JJ's PC Builds as always. And thank you, Dakota, for joining me today on this live stream.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, no doubt. We're going to go ahead and call it quits right here. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And if you've already subscribed and you're not a part of the family, well, then subscribe and you will be part of the JJ's PC Builds family. And, I did it again. And the veteran subscribers, as always, much love to you for all that you do, supporting the channel and watching the videos from beginning to end. It is much appreciated. Always is. So, until the next time, and the next video, this is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on don't forget, Dakota as well. We both will be here next Saturday. So we will see you then.
Sure thing.